Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Big emphasis on the welcome back to another episode of the H&H Sports Podcast. I'm Tanner Hicks, and as always, I'm joined by the best co-host in the game, Jackson Huey. And we have an enormous episode for you guys. We picked the perfect day to come back. Last night, LeBron Raymond James broke the record for most points scored in a career in NBA history. We can start off by talking about that. That might have been the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, that might have been just the coolest thing I've ever seen watching an NBA game, because they shot the entire game to, commemorate what he did. And there was like 10 seconds left in the quarter. I've never seen anybody like that ever.
Like, it happens on 2K all the time when you break a record. But I've never seen it live.
But they call a time, and they just show it on the screen, and then just keep going. They don't get people on the floor.
Well, yeah.
Like they had people storm the floor, and it was like the game was over, and then he took the mic and was like talking, and
cursed on national television.
Nobody cared. Like, I doubt anybody fussed about that at all.
No.
Like, at all. And yeah, that might have been just, again, I said it 4 times, but that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen watching an NBA game. There was no way missing that at all. Like, I don't care if he just didn't get it. But I was thinking, there's no way he doesn't, right? I saw this thing on Twitter where he came in wearing all black. He was like, he's wearing all black for Kareem's record funeral. Dude,
I saw that too.
It was just crazy. Like, I'll never forget watching that, because I was literally standing up. He scored his whatever bucket to get within 2, and I was like, bro, I hope the Thunder just doesn't let him score. Like, and Kendrick Williams kind of did a little. He just swiped at the ball, but it was like some effort. But still, I was scared they were just gonna let him score.
The thing that got me was, no disrespect to Bron, but the announcers were like, and that's great defense being played. Like, bro, no, it wasn't.
It was not. The kid just swiped at the ball. That was like it. They were deriding LeBron the whole night. Just like, he was smothered on him the entire possession, and LeBron somehow makes that shot. No, it was a fadeaway he's hit a million times. But yeah, like, everything aside, that was the coolest NBA thing I've ever seen.
Will that be the statue outside of Crypto.com Arena?
So they not already have like 2? Then they not have a Kobe one already?
I'm saying, will that be the LeBron statue?
It's got to be a Cleveland statue, right? Cleveland's got to.
I think he's getting 3.
He should, for all 3 of those organizations.
But I'm saying, is that shot going to be the one outside of LA?
Oh, him doing this when he finished it, like him raising his hands afterwards.
I think. All right, so
if not, his your dunk. But
Cleveland's got to be the block.
I don't know. It's got to be like a statue pose, right? Like, if it's just him going for a block, nobody's gonna know what that is.
Yes,
it'll just be him looking like this.
The block on Iggy, bro.
I know what you're talking about, but it would just be him with his 2 hands up like this. Like,
if you put the
real basketball fans will know, but that's not a statue with a backboard up there. Like, Dirk's statue is just him doing the fadeaway. Like, everybody knows what that is. It's gonna be something easy, like him going for like his signature dunk, or I guess him going for, shot to break the record.
All right, what about in Miami? Just do a Wade Bron. We gotta do the lob.
It could probably just be him going for a dunk. It's got to be simple statue material. It can't just be something elaborate.
But if Wade and LeBron are both getting a statue, why can't they just do the picture?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I just feel like it could be way cooler. I just feel like it could be way cooler if they had iconic moments as the statue.
Yeah, but they have to be statue material. Like, a block isn't necessarily statue material, because you have to have the context behind the block. and two people can't be in a statue if it's just for one person. In my opinion, I don't think it would be a good-looking statue otherwise. Anyway, LeBron, all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Great moment. We all saw it, unless LeBron got hurt or something. Yeah, LeBron James, 38,003, I think. Great thing. Now, on to football. Let's freaking go. I've been waiting to talk about freaking NFL for so long. Luckily, we ended the podcast like now. We ended the podcast like we didn't end the podcast. We stopped. We did our little hiatus or whatever before.
Can I cut you off real quick?
What's up?
According to Shams, the Lakers, Jazz, and Timberwolves are in discussions on a 3-team deal that would send D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, and draft compensation such as a first-round pick to Utah, and Mike Conley to Minnesota.
What? D'Lo back to the Lakers?
Not official. It's just being discussions.
That would be D'Lo back to the Lakers. That would be kind of wild. Doesn't really fix.
It doesn't really fix anything, but
no, it doesn't at all.
I mean,
that's to get off the Westbrook.
Yeah, I guess it is an upgrade. I guess.
Meaningless trade. I'm for all sides. For all sides, pretty much. Just meaningless. Like that gets off of D'Lo's Minnesota, which I don't hate, and that gets off the Westbrook contract for LA, which is cool. Yeah, you weren't really expecting an upgrade getting off of Westbrook's contract, but I don't know. D'Lo doesn't really help. It helps the offense, which outside of LeBron and AD is really non-existent. So I guess that's fine. Now, on to football. It's been close month and a half since we've talked about football on the podcast. We took our little hiatus. By the way, the reason we took that little hiatus is life. We're both in our early 20s. Life, just happens, and we just couldn't do the podcast. But we're back trying to be consistent like we were before. But we last time we left off, we talked about we did the live for the playoffs, and we reacted to the the playoff seeding.
The 15-minute live.
Yeah. Playoffs, the semifinal games were absolutely crazy. The TCU Michigan game exceeded all our expectations. We all thought Michigan was going to blow out TCU. Looked like the opposite was going to happen. TCU was going to blow out Michigan, but Michigan came back in the second half and made it a game. That third quarter was just absolutely wild. And then TCU ultimately won on a no-call targeting in the game. And then the next game, Georgia-Ohio State, I said it. I said Ohio State was going to make it a game with Georgia. They were winning at some point. Then Marvin Harrison comes out of the game, doesn't come back in. And that's the reason that they lost, but he was kind of torching them. And then they get lucky. Georgia gets lucky on a shanked field goal by Ohio State game. I was the one saying, especially since I live in Georgia, everybody here was like, oh, Ohio State has no chance. Ohio State made it a game, and it's not arguable that Ohio State should have won that game.
It was right down the road from your house.
I know. Anyway.
My souvenir my dad brought me right there.
Yeah, he picked the good game to go to. Georgia ultimately won the game on a missed field goal by Ohio State. Georgia, 58 pieces, TCU in the national championship. We all thought Georgia was going to win, but we didn't think they were going to put up 65 on TCU.
Right.
Pretty much what we missed. as far as college football goes. Kind of an underwhelming end to the season as far as the championship goes, but it's cool to say that we saw TCU play for a national championship. Which is pretty cool. A cool underdog story for TCU. But yeah, on to the NFL. We can do a little playoff recap before we talk about the Super Bowl. We gotta pull up the wild card games. The Jaguars come back from 24-0 to beat the Chargers in the wild card round. Trevor Lawrence is her 4 interception night. Led the Jaguars to a victory. That was really cool to watch. You thought the game was just completely over with Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions and the Jaguars being down 20. Was it 27 or 24? I think it was 24. I'm not sure. It was either 24. Either way, miraculous comeback from Jacksonville to move on to the divisional round. 49ers Seahawks wasn't really much of a game. Dolphins Bills was a good game with Skylar Thompson starting at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. The Bills just gave Miami every opportunity to win that game. If Miami has Tua, they win that game. And going into the playoffs, I thought the Bills were a bit of a shaky team. Like, I didn't really trust the Bills. Josh Allen lately just loved giving the ball to the other team, and didn't really trust the Bills' offense at that moment. Obviously, Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the league, but lately, just wasn't really feeling the Bills, especially with Micah Hyde being out for the season. Jordan Poyer, I think, played that game. I'm not too sure, but they were just beat up all over both sides of the ball and missing a lot of key players. Didn't really trust what they were doing lately. So they squeak out against a Skylar Thompson-led Dolphins. The Giants upset the Vikings. The Vikings are just going to Viking, I guess. The Giants upset the Vikings in the division round. The Bengals squeaked by the Ravens, led by Tyler Huntley. After this game, I thought I couldn't really trust the Bengals either because they didn't really play well against the Ravens that game. And then Tom Brady's final game against the Cowboys gets blown out, shut out in the first half, and goes out on a wild card loss and a losing record. Still the GOAT. The divisional round, the Chiefs stop Jacksonville's late surge in the game and, beat the Jaguars in the divisional round, what we all expected. The Eagles blow up the Giants, what we all expected right there. And Bengals Bills. I was like the only person, like with people I talked to, like my dad, people at work. I was the only person picking the Bengals because I said, wasn't really feeling the Bills. And the Bengals dominated the Bills, dominated up front, everything.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
wasn't a game. And the 49ers.
Better send those refunds.
The 49ers, behind stellar play calling from the Cowboys, they still beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys play call that last play of the game. It was a play call. I'll say that. It was a play. It was a play. It was. They had Zeke hit center, and he just got buried by whoever was lined up across him.
Yeah, I imagine the Zeke at center formation is probably retired.
It's done. Not really looking forward to going back to that play.
Losing Tony was a huge blow for them though in that game. I think from that moment, I pretty much figured it was the 49ers are going to run away with it.
Speaking of running away with it, in the conference championship, the Eagles made light of the 49ers in a 31-7 blowout. I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, if Brock Purdy's healthy. But We'll never know. Never know, because Brock Purdy didn't throw a pass after he hurt his elbow.
He threw one,
Because
didn't
it maybe. I don't
he? I think he
really
went
remember.
I think he went 4 for 4
On
the
short
game.
passes.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't shield with, a broken elbow or whatever it was. Like the Eagles objective would have won or not. They objectively got lucky with Brock Purdy getting hurt.
I'm gonna say this.
They might have still won because they put up 38 points in the number one defense in the league. Well, I will give the Eagles their props, but they still got lucky.
Here's my thing. I'm gonna say two things here, and they're gonna contradict each other because I know how this. Brock Purdy don't play defense, but on the opposite side of that, when your offense is going 3 and out and your defense is getting a three down break, it kind of, the defense.
Yeah, it's not really helping the defense out.
Right.
When Brock Purdy comes back in the game, even when Josh Johnson was in the game, Josh Johnson couldn't do anything. And when Brock Purdy came back in, he threw like 2 or 3 passes 2 yards down the field, and they ran the ball with McCaffrey every play.
I didn't watch that game.
And when the Eagles are expecting short yardage plays every play, whether it's a run or just a short pass, just a lot of things led to the Eagles scoring 31 points, but still, it is impressive scoring that many points on the number ones in the league. And yeah, the Eagles got lucky. Objectively, the Eagles got lucky. Chiefs Bengals, controversial game for many reasons. But the last play of the game, talking about, I think it was what's his name? Uche. It's I forget.
Are we talking about the late hit? Are we talking about the late hit?
Yeah, the late hit. I forget his name.
It is a late hit.
Joseph Osai. Objectively, it was a late hit, but you can't really blame the guy because he's just trying to, make a play.
I know, but you can't give that extra shove
to help his team make the Super Bowl. Like it's just adrenaline trying to make a play.
I know, but like that gets called.
Yes, it's a flag. Yeah, it's a flag. Like it had to be a flag. I'm not arguing that, but like you can't really blame the guy. He's just a play for his team. But it did lead to the Chiefs having enough yards to kick a game-winning field goal. But I will say this: the Bengals punter should not have kicked it in bounds. Whoever was fielding that punt, I think it was Kadarius Toney. I don't know who fielded the punt. He should have punted it out of bounds. You got to know the situation right there. Your game is tied under a minute left in regulation. The Chiefs have a chance to drive down. The number one offense has a chance to drive down and win. And you kick it in bounds, and they get a good return, and they're set up prime position. Again, it was not all on him, but you got to know the situation to kick it out of bounds. He may have tried, but less winning the game. Now, we're down to 2. Eagles, Chiefs, the 2 best teams in the entire league. This is the first Super Bowl, I think, personally, since the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, where this is really just a toss-up game. Like, the latest Super Bowls, you really had a good idea who was going to win. Maybe it didn't turn out that way, but you got a pretty good idea of who was going to win that Super Bowl. Last year, nobody expected the Bengals to win that game. They kept it close. It came down to, the final drive, but, nobody thought the Bengals were going to beat the Rams last year. And the year before, nobody thought, I mean, yeah, it was Brady, but nobody thought, the Bucks, a wild card team, is going to take down the reigning champions. Year before that, the 49ers were, I think, pretty decent favorites over the Chiefs in that year. The 49ers were, they started the year off 8-0, finished 13-3, while the Chiefs had their midseason struggles, had their late season surge that they usually have, and, finished 12-4, end up getting a bye still, but they, had their struggles in season, and nobody thought that down 10 that the Chiefs are going to win that one. They ended up doing that. The year before that, Rams Patriots, everybody, again, we all understood it was Tom Brady, but the almighty Rams, 13-3, best team in the league. Nobody thought the Patriots were going to beat the Rams in that Super Bowl, but they did in the ugliest Super Bowl I've ever seen. But finally, we get the craziest Super Bowl that I probably have ever seen outside of the one before that was Eagles Patriots. Just it feels like this game here.
The one before that, I know that.
Eagles. The Eagles Patriots, that game was it was a toss up. Like, you kind of would lean towards the Patriots because they had Nick Foles starting quarterback, but the Eagles were just elite the entire year outside of that. And it feels similar to this year. The almighty Chiefs compared to the almighty Patriots time. And I'm going to say it. Questions at quarterback with the Eagles. It's eerily similar. That's all I'm saying. And it still feels like a coin flip. Now, I'm gonna clear the air here. Yes, I have been a Jalen Hurts hater for a good reason before. Jalen Hurts was abysmal his first year in the league. Objectively not great. His second year wasn't terrible, but also wasn't great either. This year, he was good. Good. Not an MVP candidate by any stretch of the imagination. The only reason you would call him in it is because of team success. But Jalen Hurts was good this year. I will give him that. He was good. He wasn't bad like he has been before. But he was still good. Still is hesitant to throw the ball farther than 10 yards. But that's really just their offense. That's really Sirianni's offense. It's just, get playmakers involved. Screen passes to A.J. Brown. That's how they get yards. Let your playmakers make plays. And a heavily reliant run game. It's just their offense. But Jalen Hurts was good. I will leave it at that. Jalen Hurts was good. But yeah, it's really still a toss-up for me. As far as this game goes. Do you want to pick the game now?
I don't care. I don't know who I'm gonna pick though.
I'm gonna go with this. I think this is obviously the most interesting game we have this year. Mahomes, far and away the MVP this year. No question. Had the most combined total offensive yards responsible for in NFL history this season. Threw for 41 touchdowns. I had a stretch in the season where he was just throwing picks left and right. But still, far and away the MVP this year. Hurts, people were saying he was an MVP candidate. I disagree. Hurts played well this year. But story, I think, is Kansas City has the 31st ranked defense against the pass this season. I think they've allowed the most passing touchdowns, but yardage-wise, I think they're 31st. But the Eagles have a top 5 run game and have rushed for the most touchdowns in NFL history this season. Development there. Eagles are bad against the pass, but Eagles aren't too amazing in the pass. Yeah, Hurts almost threw for 4,000 yards, but it's not a vertical offense like the Chiefs are accustomed to giving up yards to.
Right. I will say it will be fun to watch. The Chiefs are the number one pass blocking team, and the Eagles are the number one pass rush team.
And the Eagles have, the Eagles had the second most sacks of all time. The Eagles are just breaking records. I don't want y'all to think me kind of bringing y'all down to earth on Jalen Hurts is me hating on the Eagles. The Eagles are, arguably the best team in the league this season. You seeing them like Exhibit A, them being in the Super Bowl. Like, they've done amazing. Most rushing touchdowns of all time. I get what you're saying.
If you take Jalen Hurts and put him on the Commanders, he's not doing the same thing.
Well, Commanders are team.
Huh?
That's it. The Commanders are just the worst team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that's why. But yeah, Jalen Hurts had a good season. It took him having, the best weapon arsenal in the league for him to have that good of a season. But we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. Yeah, the Eagles had the second most sacks of all time this season, 70 plus. Most rushing touchdowns of all time this season. The Eagles are an amazing team. One of the best teams, winning 14 games in a 17 season is ridiculous. But yeah, it's just the Chiefs number one pass blocking team, while the Eagles have the best pass rush in the league. Howie Roseman loves his D linemen. They have so many D linemen they can just rotate. And now, I believe that this might be a high-scoring game. Like, it could be, because the Eagles are going to game plan around the Chiefs having a bottom three pass defense in all of football. But their game plan is to run the ball. I'm not really too sure where the Chiefs rank as far as run defense. Let's look. The Eagles are second in yards allowed per game. Most sacks, the Chiefs have the second most sacks, 15 behind though, which is wild. Eagles are third in turnover differential. Eagles are top 5 in rushing yards a game. Chiefs are top 5 in passing yards a game. Chiefs are far and away number 1 in offensive yards a game. Eagles are third in offensive yards per game. All right, let's look at rushing yards allowed. Chiefs are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 best in rushing yards allowed. Rushing yards a game looks like they're 8th best as well. Passing, they are the worst. Yeah. And another interesting, Eagles are number 1 against the pass. While the Chiefs had the best passing attack, worst passing defense. But Eagles best rushing attack, but they do have the best pass defense in the entire league by a good 5 yards here per game. It's gonna be a really good game. I can't wait. I took off work to watch this game. Okay, this is gonna be a crazy game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. There's obviously a possibility. when I said this about Niners Eagles, I thought that was going to be the best game of the postseason. But yeah, obviously the Brock Purdy stuff happened. But it's the Super Bowl, man. I think this is going to be the best game. I think this could be the best game we've seen in a while. Like, I think this is going to be similar to the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. Most combined offensive yardage in NFL history in one game. In that game was like 1,076 or something. It was crazy. And I just think I think it has the potential to be that kind of crazy because it's the Super Bowl. It's just a tough game to pick. It really is.
Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I think experience is gonna show, and I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
They still have some guys that do have Super Bowl experience from the last time. They have I'm trying to think. They have Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, the guys on the D-line.
I know that the Eagles have guys that have experience, but
from the last time, I'm not sure Avonte Maddox was in the league yet. Jalen Mills isn't on that team anymore. They're there. They're there. 4 guys like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, the old guys.
right.
Jake Elliott was there last time. He missed a field goal or an extra point or two in that game, if I remember. But
I didn't think he was there.
Yeah, the Eagles, still have some guys. But the most important experience that the Chiefs have is like almost everyone. Reed's been there. Mahomes has been there. They don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, but they still do have Travis Kelce. Core guys like Frank Clark. They still do have some young guys like Jalen Watson, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay. Chris Jones there last time. Who else was there?
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
You already said Mahomes and Kelce, and
yeah, just
Edwards-Helaire was there, wasn't he?
Who?
Wasn't Edwards-Helaire there?
No.
We played against when they played the Bucks.
Yeah, he was there. Oh yeah, he has Super Bowl experience too.
And they activated him too.
They don't need him. Been the guy at running back. Same with McKinnon. McKinnon's been really good as having a career year. Like prime examples of Jerick McKinnon. I'm not sure if Jerick McKinnon was a first round pick or not. I doubt it. He was a 3rd round pick. Jerick McKinnon was a 3rd round draft pick. And we look at Pacheco was a 7th round draft pick, nearly the last pick in the entire draft. This is why I'm one to not pick a running back inside the 1st round unless it's like a Bijan Robinson type of person. Like Bijan Robinson's gonna get picked in the 1st round, like no question because of how great he is. But I'm just not a person who advocates for taking running back in the 1st round. Chiefs can take Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th round pick, 251 draft pick, and just make him a weapon.
Right.
Obviously it has to be the right team to know how to use that player. But if you are that team, I don't think you just need to take a running back inside the 1st round. It's just not necessary in my opinion. Running back's a revolving door. Like I think if you're good enough, you can just have a revolving running back and be fine. Watch the Chiefs take Bijan in the draft now that I say that. But yeah, the Chiefs just one of the best offensive schemes in the league, and they just have a revolving door at running back. They beat his girlfriend or whatever. Anyway,
I didn't hear anything you just said. It kind of cut out a little bit.
I said that the Chiefs have had a revolving door at running back since Kareem Hunt kicked his girlfriend or whatever. Anyway, I'm leaning towards picking the Chiefs in this one, just simply because they've been there before, and Mahomes is him. But in my opinion, I think outside of the 2018 AFC Championship and the Bucks
The
in
what?
the
Oh, the
Super Bowl,
Bucks.
I think this is the toughest defense that Mahomes is in the Bucks in the Super Bowl. I think this is the toughest defense that Mahomes has ever played. I think you could say, I don't want to say objectively because you can argue either way, but it is one of the toughest defenses that Mahomes has ever had to play, game plan for, whatever. Things aren't going to come easy. Mahomes is going to have to be MVP Mahomes to win this game. Like, no question. Yeah, they have playmakers on offense, but they don't have a guy like Tyreek Hill anymore. They do have Travis Kelce that they can rely on. But outside of Travis Kelce, who do you got? You got MVS, who's a deep threat, can go over the top on a defense. They have Juju, who's just a slot short yardage receiver. He's not just that, but it's what his main role is.
Yeah, it's his bread and butter.
They have Kadarius Toney is a playmaker, good with the ball in his hands. Another short yardage guy. But they just don't have that game breaker at receiver like they've had with Tyreek Hill. Just their,
Unless you count Travis Kelce.
He's not that over the top, game breaker. Like, I'm speaking of just game breaking speed. MVS is fast, but he's not just gonna completely be the focal point of a defense. When Tyreek Hill's on the field, that's all the defense is worried about. They're bracket coveraging him on his side. That whole side of the field is responsible for Tyreek Hill. And what the Bucks did in their Super Bowl, they just played cover 2 shell defense, played over the top, and just sent 4 or 5 every play because Mahomes had no offensive line, and they won the game. Like, that's all the Bucks had to do was score pretty much, and they won the game, and that's what happened. So the Eagles, it makes it easier. I don't know. I'm kind of contradicting myself here. I think that makes it easier for him because Mahomes has felt like, kind of loose this year. Just felt like himself. Like,
he does have the high ankle sprain still. So
yeah, I still take Mahomes with one leg over 90% of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, I think Mahomes is going to be fine. Like, yeah, you don't have that weapon like Tyreek Hill anymore, but like this entire season, most yards ever is fine without Tyreek Hill, and Andy Reid and Bieniemy in that offense is find ways to get other players involved and not just have to rely on Tyreek Hill. So yeah, with the Eagles, like we said before, they can get vertical at times, but they're not just a vertical passing offense like the Chiefs. So the Chiefs having the worst pass defense isn't really, it helps obviously when they want to pass, but I see the Eagles mainly passing on obvious pass downs because I'm not sure how good the Chiefs run defense is. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I think I just checked. The Chiefs are top 8 defense. So the Eagles having a top 5 rushing attack. Eagles having top 5 rushing attack. Chiefs having a top 10 rush defense. They're kind of matching good run defense versus good run offense. Bad pass defenses versus not the best pass offense. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
It's something like I'm all over the place. I think I'm gonna contradict one more time. One last time. You know, I've loved the underdog the entire season. College, big on Florida. Picked them to beat top 7 Utah. Entire season. I was on
And
Florida.
Tennessee.
Underdog. Picked Tennessee to beat Georgia. Underdog. Picked a lot more upsets. Picked Stanford to beat USC. Underdog. I on TCU. Underdog. A lot of people were big on TCU just because they were, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this game, just because I think they're just the best all-around team in the NFL. They've shown that they're the best all-around team in the NFL. I remember in the in the summer, before the beginning even happened, we were big on the Bills being the best all-around team in the NFL. Now they were at the time.
You're good.
Now they were at the time because they still had they just signed Von Miller. All their guys were healthy. Just coming off of being the number one defense in the NFL. They still had Josh Allen. Like, we were right in saying the Bills were the overall team in the league. But the Eagles, as the years gone on, have shown that they are the best all around team in the NFL. Showing how they work in their playmakers and play great offense, and use Jalen Hurts to his strengths and not use him outside of what he's should be used for. Eagles offense similar to what the Oklahoma offense was when Jalen Hurts was there. Now, obviously, it's more complex because it's an NFL offense, but it's similar to what Lincoln Riley used Jalen Hurts. A lot of zone read running, and letting the playmakers make plays. Who was it with CD Lamb in Oklahoma? It was how Eagles use AJ Brown. AJ Brown this year was CD Lamb, was Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is Lamb in Oklahoma. It's eerily similar. So that's how the Eagles have been so effective. Great defense, great offensive scheme. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are just tremendous, and that Jalen Hurts has shown that he can step up in big games. Now, passing wise, last week or 2 weeks ago, championship game, Jalen Hurts wasn't really anything to write home about. He had like 120 yards.
I mean, I know, but at the same time, they kind of blew him out. So
yeah, they didn't really need to pass. I understand, but 121 yards to be exact. Jalen Hurts has still stepped up in big games this season. Great against the Giants. Wasn't bad against the 49ers, but didn't need to be good. So, forced a lot of turnovers, a lot of short fields from them to work with. I'm still going to take the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts takes in big games. But, I'm still not going to come to him being an MVP. I think that's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm taking the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Good, because we picked different. Even more of yesterday, I was leaning towards the Chiefs, just like you said, because of experience. But sometimes that's a factor. In case of Patriots versus Rams in that Super Bowl. The Patriots weren't necessarily a better team than the Rams, but the Patriots were there before the Rams were kind of, I think, starstruck the time. Put up 3 points. I think just the Eagles are just better. I think it just comes down to that. The Eagles are just better. And I'm kind of beating a dead horse talking about it, but I think the Eagles are just better.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't argue that, but I just think experience is there, and I don't know. I just take Chiefs. I don't really care who wins.
I don't either. I just want it to be a good game. That's all
Yeah,
I hope.
I just want a good game.
That's all I hope. I would be so mad if it's a blowout either way. So mad.
Like, I wouldn't pick nobody if I didn't have to do it for this. I just watch the game, which is what I'm going to do.
Now, let's move on to our basketball talk. It's that time of the year, Jackson. Basketball. We're almost done, but we're talking about some basketball. Now, March Madness is next month. I'm so excited for that.
Like, we're going to be playing in it, so.
We might be a 10 seed or something.
Right now, we're in 11.
We'll bounce back.
We're the last team in.
We just can't lose.
And we're probably going to lose to South Florida tonight.
To play Houston twice. I'm so upset. We got a flight to get in. But recent news: Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavericks. Big trade. What are your thoughts on that trade?
I think it could work. I do. And I think anybody that says it's two ball dominant players, so it's not going to work, I don't know what they're talking about, because like
Kyrie Irving played with LeBron in his first
right, and
half decade.
You could compare Luka to LeBron. I don't think that's crazy.
It's not a crazy comparison. It's not ridiculous to say that.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to go break the all-time scoring record, which if I had to pick somebody to do it, it might be Luka. But
I would take Giannis or James Harden. If James Harden has any left in the tank for the next 5 years, I'm picking James Harden. I don't care. Anyway,
I didn't think about Giannis, but my two guesses were Luka and Victor if he lives up to the hype.
Victor. Giannis over Victor.
Yeah.
Giannis is the better Victor.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I think it can work. For sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Offensively, I think they're better because you have obviously because you get in Kyrie Irving. People are talking about off ball. Well, he just came off a situation with Kevin Durant, who he was 50, 40, 90 and averaged 20, 26 plus with him.
I think it's crazy to say it's not going to work as a two ball dominant, and Kyrie's played with Kevin Durant, LeBron James.
Kyrie doesn't need the ball in his hand. Yeah, he's a fast handles person who obviously needs the ball in his hand to get buckets like that. But he's played with LeBron. He averaged 25 plus in his last season with LeBron. 50, 40, 90 seasons with Kevin Durant. So Kyrie's gonna be fine if he's just invested in the team. Which there's questions with that with the recent situations that he's been in. Kyrie's gonna be fine. And I think Luka would be fine too. I don't think Luka has to sacrifice anything. I think Luka can still be Luka. He just has another weapon on his offense, and he just doesn't. Yeah. He could take a break every once in a while.
He doesn't have to put up a 60-point triple double.
Yeah, Luka is. I think Luka's ecstatic that Kyrie's there.
Yeah, I think it'll work.
It should work. Defensively, question marks on the team. They're still waiting for Maxi Kleber to get back. He's one of their best defenders. They gave up their best defender overall, and Dorian Finney-Smith. They also gave up Spencer Dinwiddie, who's been a good second option. Could have been better, but good second option. I think the Nets, they're saying they're trying to trade him because I think it was kind of cool that Dinwiddie was back on the Nets. Yeah, it looks like the Nets are trying to give him away. And also, I think Mark Cuban and the Mavericks are trying to do something else to help, their title chances. So I think that'll be pretty cool. But anything else in the NBA? All-Star game's coming up. That But Kyrie plays his first game with the Mavericks tonight, pretty sure, against the Clippers on ESPN. So that is pretty cool.
Trying to see if there's anything. Kevin Durant discussing the future with the franchise. I mean,
yeah, the front office said that they're not giving away KD right now. I think it would be dumb because I think that team is still good. It's just star power on that team left. So I think the Nets are good. They got Nick Claxton coming into his own. It's gonna be an all-star at the end of the season. Is going crazy on the defensive side of the ball. They bring in Dorian Finney-Smith to help out on defense.
not to mention they got Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas going absolutely bonkers. 3 straight 40-point games, going insane. They still have Seth Curry.
If he averages 45 for the next 10 years, he'll pass LeBron.
If they keep Dinwiddie, which I think they should. Dinwiddie's a great player to have on the team. They still obviously got Kevin Durant. Just a good, great team.
I did see something that said that teams don't want to trade with the Nets because they don't want to give them a reason to hang on to KD.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they do have a reason to hang on to KD. I think that team is good. Jacques Vaughn has shown that he's been a great coach so far. With the Nets. Their game's over. Where are they at in the standings? They're 5th place. They're in the playoffs right now. So yeah, the Nets have every reason to keep KD right now. If KD wants to stay, which I think he does. The Nets are looking. I think the Nets are in a good spot, personally. Obviously, you'd like to have Kyrie Irving back, but he didn't want to be there, and you can't really help that.
Holy! I'm on Twitter. I just saw Roger Goodell said, "This is a real quote. When you look at officiating, I don't think it's ever been better."
He has to say that.
He doesn't have to.
He looks bad if he says the refs are bad because he hired the refs. You know what I mean?
I guess so, yeah.
Probably not him direct, but he was part of the hiring process for the refs, and he looks bad if he hires bad refs. So I think he has to say that. They were objectively horrible. But yeah, I think he has to say that.
Yeah, he does for sure, but holy.
All right. I have one question for you, and then we'll call it a pod. It's a big question. It's one that even the smartest today don't have the answer to. Who, in your opinion, is the greatest player of all time? As of right now.
Talk about basketball.
Yes.
I was talking about this today. Personally, this is a escape answer kind of, but I think it's 1A and 1B.
It's a clear number one.
I'm taking Jordan.
There's no 1A and 1B anymore. It's just Jordan now.
If I have to take one, I'm taking Jordan. But I do. I'm 1A and 1B on it. I think. Look, I'm gonna say this. So I don't get all kind of backlash. I think LeBron is a way better athlete, and definitely a better scorer probably. I just think Jordan was a better player
overall. I mean, LeBron, most points of all time now. top 10 in assists, which is crazy. He's the only player to ever do that. Top 10 in assists and even top 10 in points. So he's number one. You know, 4 finals. Like,
and I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, I've heard people say that. People have told me this when we talked about LeBron's point record. Well, Kareem had to go to 4 years of college. Yeah, but Kareem also played more games than LeBron's played in the NBA.
Yeah, but then people always say, "Oh, the 3-pointer." Like, was LeBron supposed to not take 3-pointers? Like, that's part of the game now. And Kareem was a big. Like, there's many arguments.
By the time LeBron plays another 5-6 years, if you take away his threes, he's still gonna have the record.
Yeah. Like, LeBron didn't necessarily need the 3-pointer. He's top 10 in threes of all time. It's because the game's changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the game has changed. LeBron's taking more threes because the whole league is taking more threes. Like, it's just how it is. There's many arguments that lean towards either one. Like, I'm not going to be upset if anybody says Jordan. I'm not going to be upset if anybody says LeBron.
That's
because like real life, who cares? But we're a sports podcast. We have to care. Me personally, if I had to pick one, I'm gonna pick LeBron. I've always been a Jordan guy, but these last few seasons with how LeBron's played at this age, I have to say LeBron if I have to pick one.
That's why. See, I got him 1A. I got him 1A and 1B.
I'm not like firm. Like, I hate you if LeBron's not your GOAT, but
you're not a bronsexual yet.
Yeah, yet. Yeah, I'm saying LeBron if I had to pick a GOAT. But
I'm telling you, I got 1A and 1B.
I just think that's a cool conversation now because LeBron. It's always been a cool conversation, but LeBron now number one all time in points. But I think it's interesting where this is all types of rabbit hole. Hold on. Oh. I think it's interesting, right? LeBron is year 20, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is year 20 for LeBron. Number one all time, obviously. And 1,400 games played. Michael Jordan in 15 years and 1,072 games played is fifth. You obviously point to different eras and stuff, but I just think that's kind of cool. I think LeBron, you have every right to call LeBron the greatest scorer ever because he has the most points. Like, that should be an easy, like, yeah.
Yeah, but even, I don't think you were calling Kareem the best scorer ever, and he had the most points.
I mean, I was. Like, you had to.
I mean, I guess, but
before I was probably calling Jordan the best scorer ever because he averaged the most points, and he fifth all time with 1,000 games played. It's like that's on pace with Wilt. Like, Wilt's seventh with 1,045 games played with no 3-pointers at all.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, that's wild. Jordan made less than 1,000. Like,
have you ever seen speaking of Wilt, have you ever seen the theory that Wilt did not actually score 100 points?
No.
There's a theory that Wilt didn't score 100 points because it is kind of crazy that nobody has a video or no film or nothing from it.
I mean, it was a 60s game. Early 60s game.
There was video in the 60s.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. don't really care for conspiracy stuff.
I mean, I don't either, but it is kind of crazy that there's not even like a video or nothing.
Yeah, but I don't like being that type of person.
No,
Like,
I'm not being that type of person. I was just
Yeah.
saying it's crazy that there's no like video of like him hitting the 100-point shot or nothing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I wonder. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this, then we'll call it a pod. Do you think anybody in today's game will hit 100 points?
No.
No.
I don't know. You know how crazy that would be?
I mean, it took Donovan Mitchell 4 quarters in overtime to get to 71.
Yeah. So like you'd have to be feeling it.
Yeah, and it took Booker all game to get to 70. So
you would have to be feeling it.
Who would it be then? Who would you think it would be? If somebody, who do you think it would be?
I don't know.
I think this is who I would be. Top 3. Strictly, I think Curry.
I would say Curry. I was going to say Curry, but I was like, that's a lot of threes.
Because of his 3-point volume. Luka, because he has the ball every play.
And Giannis?
No. Giannis doesn't shoot enough threes.
Victor?
It's big saying Victor until he gets in the league. I want to say Harden. I'm on Harden right now because Harden, I know he's lost a step and he's getting older, but Harden is arguably a top 5 scorer ever. Like Harden is him.
But he's not like scoring 100 points, bro.
He's top 3 and 3-pointers made. If Harden's on, he's on. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
He's not scoring 100.
He can.
Not now.
He could.
No.
Harden wouldn't be my top 3, but he would be, like, if I had to choose someone not like the top 10 players, it would probably be Harden.
Yeah, right. Okay. You put him in the top 10, but 3? I'd throw Damian Lillard in there before I would.
Okay, Dame too. Dame's a good one. Dono, because he put up 70. Like, there's a lot of good scorers in the league.
If we would have forgot Dame, Elijah would have gave us so much crap.
Yeah, KD too. Oh, forgot KD. Good lord.
Maybe LeBron's gonna break that next. I don't know. He might have to make the play-in.
Average 100. I guess Westbrook's on that team. Jeez.
I watched him miss an open layup last night. It's like LeBron.
Dude, the Lakers lost that game, bro.
LeBron's out here chasing Kareem, and you're missing open layups. Come on, bro.
Dude, the Thunder, like, record-wise, are better than the Lakers right now. But you gotta win, bro. Dude, like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna remember that they lost that game.
Yeah, that's the most meaningless. Even if they won, it'd been meaningless. Like,
yeah, but you'd like to, win the game you break a record in, Yeah, the NBA the last couple seasons, man, just seeing crazy stuff. We saw last year, Steph breaks the all-time threes record, and then nobody's ever gonna pass Steph. Anybody's ever gonna pass Steph Curry as far as that, because he's only 34. I say
it would have to be
34 is kind of wild.
No, nobody's ever gonna pass Steph.
Like, hold on, I'm about to see. Steph Curry. Steph Curry is 34. He'll be 35 next month. That's so crazy. Steph Curry's about to be 35.
I did the math today, and this is if LeBron retired today, so obviously it ain't gonna happen. But Steph would have to average 35 points a game for the next 6 years to pass LeBron. And that's if LeBron didn't keep scoring.
but he's not. Gonna Steph Curry.
I think LeBron's going to score at least 6,000 more.
Steph Curry is at 3,302 threes right now. And he's still probably got 4 or 5 years left. Like, if he's averaging 203, he's going to hit 4,000.
I'll tell you somebody whose name could be thrown in that 100 hat. Klay Thompson.
If he just can't miss from three. Also,
Yeah,
Kyrie.
like he was the other night. Like the other night, he hit 13 threes or something like that?
Yeah. Like, he's there if he, just can't miss.
He has that night every now. Not no more because obviously after the 2 injuries, he fell off a little bit. But
he's still averaging 21.
I know that, but he's not
doing what
he's not showing up like
usually does in his prime.
Know.
He's not there defensively like he wants. Obviously, when your legs are done,
right?
Like, you can't really blame him. But scoring wise, he's still there. 21 points a game this year. Yeah, I don't think anybody's passing Steph ever. Just because, he's probably going to have 1,000 more threes for the rest of his career. And he's going to be sitting at 4,500 by the time he retires. That's going to be unbreakable. That's going to be one of those unbreakable records. Like the John Stockton assist. I don't know. I think somebody can break the points record again. I think this is this plays as long as LeBron does. At his scoring efficiency, averages 27 for their career, plays 20 years.
Yeah, Luka or Giannis would be my best guess.
I think Luka is probably my number one because he was good so early in his career, and he's still a top 3, top 5 player in the NBA.
23.
Yeah, up there. Luka's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in 3 weeks. He's averaged 27 for his career. Came out the gates averaging 21, and his points might take it. He's going to take a dip now because of Kyrie being there. Whole career, I think if Luka plays 20 years and still averages the 27, he probably break that record, I think, because Luka has the game. He's not uber athletic most NBA players are just super athletic, and that's part of the reason why they can get points is off drives, super athletic, they're faster, they're stronger, whatever. Usually that goes away with age, and that's why some aren't as good when they're older. Luka already has an old man game, and he's 23, and that just doesn't go away.
He plays like LeBron.
In some aspects.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my number one would easily be Luka Doncic to break that. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, do you think LeBron's the GOAT now because he broke the scoring record? I think you have to say that he's the greatest scorer of all time. Obviously there's a case for Jordan because he played less years and a lot of points.
Here's a crazy stat for you. LeBron, you might have saw this. LeBron scored 38 at age 38 to get his 38,388th point on the 38th day of the year to break a record that was set 38 years ago.
That's the biggest coincidence I've ever heard. Oh, that's God. No.
It's a script.
It's a script. That's why the tickets were so big, because they knew it was happening tonight. 38th day of the year on the 38th anniversary.
But and
that is crazy though.
He did it on February 7th, 2/7/23, and his career points per game right now is 27.23.
Pretty crazy.
I'm pretty sure he averages 27.23 on his career right now.
That is pretty cool. I'm still on the, like, that is like the coolest thing ever. That they stopped the game for him. People will be like, oh, why'd they stop the game? The game that's so good. Like, I think that's cool. I think if anyone deserves it, it's him. Like, you know, I think it's cool.
Speaking of, okay, did you see Charles Barkley's top 10? It was so bad.
Oh yeah. He had Oscar at like 2.
It was so bad.
Dude, I peeped at it a little bit on Instagram.
He had LeBron at 7.
Like, he had like Oscar at 2.
He didn't even have Shaq in there.
Crazy, bro. That's crazy. I saw Shaq and Kareem had a moment after the game. I thought that was pretty cool.
I did see that. That was cool.
It was pretty crazy. Dude, LeBron was crying, tearing up.
After he said he wasn't going to cry when he broke the record.
I almost teared up too, bro. Dude, I'm surprised he just didn't break down.
They asked him, they said, have you seen that video where the courtside fan asked him, was like, you gonna cry when you break the record? He was like, what record? He said, oh, the points record? And I was like, yeah. And he said, no, I ain't gonna cry. I'll cry when I win a championship.
Dude, I don't know if you could blame him for crying right there, bro.
No,
that's
no,
like
100% not.
That's crazy. I almost teared up when I saw him crying. That was pretty cool. I think I am turning into a bronze sectional now.
I think you are.
Nah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What we wanted to cover.
Emotional.
We'll have way more to talk about next week. We'll recap the Super Bowl. We're gonna transition into talking more about basketball. Obviously, I do want to get into some mock drafts for the NFL. And some draft stuff with the NFL if you're interested.
That would be an idea.
Just doing some draft coverage. I think that would be pretty cool.
We could do our own mock drafts.
Yeah, studying the incoming prospects and doing a lot of stuff once the draft comes around. I think that'd be cool. I want to see if Elijah and Jacob from the Ball Away podcast would do way more collabs because
it is best. Just after Sunday it's straight basketball.
Straight hoops, man. Wonder if we could do more collabs with them. I just gonna be podcast outside of football. We were mainly a football podcast during football season. We're gonna be transitioning straight in to some football after Sunday. I think it'd be really fun. We hope you guys enjoyed listening. We hope you will keep coming back. We did take a long hiatus. Try not to have that happen again. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. We appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys listening. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. What are you doing? Best sports podcast on the platform. Subscribe. Turn the note on. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on podcast. Follow us on any place you get your podcast. We'll be back next Wednesday, hopefully. And we'll see you guys then.